I just think Kabir Sawant just left me. I feel so light. He just looked at me. Chal, let's have coffee. He just didn't pay any attention to it. I'm looking at him. My motorcycling and the way I ride and the way I feel tells me where I am. And I think friendship is so crooked. It is so flawed. On the first day only he broke the ice and he said, hey, he's like, hey, sit down. Why are you not on Instagram? This, that. I said, bro, I'm a merit actor. I don't want to be on Instagram. The bullshit. I did the same mistakes. You don't do that. I once accidentally said to him, bro, I have a big meeting. He said, no, dude, there's no big meeting. It's a meeting.
Why do you call yourself a professional, emotional athlete? Hello, Amit Sadh. Welcome to Galatta Plus. And you have a movie coming up, Pune Highway. But before that, we were chatting in there, in that room, and there was this thing that you said about nepotism. We're not going to talk about nepotism at all.
You said about nepotism. No. You brought it up.
What did you say? I want you to repeat it.
I just said, I think you like my answer, that's why.
Yeah.
We were talking about it, of course. I think I appreciate the light we were talking in. I think you can talk about anything in this world. But in the manner you discuss it, the direction you take it in that's more important. If you talk about anything in malice and victimizing yourself, and then you're in a puddle. I'm fortunate I'm not in the puddle. What I said to you was कि hey, nepotism है, रहेगा, मैं भी हूँ, मैं भी रहूँगा.
That's good.
Thank you.
You have a film coming up. What is it that you do before the release of a film? There are some people go and they do a lot of press, they do a lot of interviews. Other people kind of say, I'm going to just not think about the film that's coming out because it's a game now. How do you play the game? How does Amit Sadh play the game?
So I have to tell you this. At this point, career and life, this is the most important question. It's the first time this has sprung up in my consciousness and in my desire and in my aptitude. It was never there before, and I'll be very honest. Before that, I have done big studio films where I was told, 3 days marketing, these are the interviews, keep your brain shut, go and do it and get out. 2 years, sir, I have not had a release. I think my hunger and my need to do more, to understand what is an actor's role on set, what is an actor's role off set, what is an actor's role when his movie is coming out. Somehow, because of Bugs and Rahul, they've also allowed me a seat where they've given me the opportunity.
Those are the directors of Pune Highway. Yeah.
Directors and producers and writers of the film to kind of go and explore. And we all behave like studios because we don't have a studio. So number one thing which I do is I tell my team that I need an interview with Sir. I love your interviews. I love the credibility you have. I love what you offer to cinema. Interviews, journalists, words, publications are avenues, are bridges that take our film and us, our mindset and who we are to the community, to the audience. So you are, in a way, a big custodian of the movies too. And I really value you. I value what you represent.
Thank you.
So that's something first I do. Second, right now, because I've not had a movie in release in theaters, I just feel, sir, just being sincere. You don't have to be very knowledgeable. You don't have to be the wisest guy in the world. I just feel that sincerity does wonders. So at this moment, I just have sincerity. I have a great team. I'm also getting very overwhelmed in a good way. The support that is coming. People are like, we requested you that, you would say, of course we'll do. And I just want everyone to know, Sir is already a part of Pune Highway. My first interview for Pune Highway, when we were at Aathi, where we premiered, was with Sir.
Yeah.
And while talking to Sir, Sir says, when is this movie coming out? I said, Sir, I don't know, but it'll come. He said, I'll interview you when this movie comes. So thank you, Sir. At this point, just sincere enough and have the right people to advise what's the best we can do for the film. Not me. The hero of the film is the film.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just trying to become the engine.
But the thing is, people relate to the film through you or through the other co-star. Jim Sharp is there, for example, through him or through somebody else or through the directors. So you, in a way, become a conduit to the film, right? You become an avenue through the film. So before the film, you're the one who's standing in front of it and saying, okay, you like me, so watch my film. So that's where these things come in, and I ask, what is it that you want to put out there? What is it about Amit Sadh? Are you just saying, you know me, you know my films, all these years of work, now come see my film, or is there something extra?
And I say this very humbly, I just feel we put too much pressure on the audience.
Okay.
And I also have this notion that every person who watches movie is not my fan. I have a very close knit relationship with my fan, like very close. I follow them. I've been a part of few of them. I know their names. I know the problems they go through.
Your fans,
Yeah, I don't even call them fans. I mean, I think there has to be a better word to describe.
admirers, whatever.
What
Yeah.
people,
Huh.
people.
How do you do that?
I don't know. It just comes naturally to me.
No, as in how? Through
Instagram.
Instagram.
I
Okay.
follow them.
Okay.
Some of them have my mobile number. And most other times nobody's crossed the line. Very rarely, once in a year or once in a decade. And now nobody does. So my fans they've always supported me. And I've always been very vocal that I'm grateful that I have lasted so long, I'm sure, because it's simple. So at the end of the day, movies is mathematics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you watch my movie, if this movie makes money, I will get more work. I had an interesting take. A distributor told somebody, and that person called me, he said, Amit, distributors love you. I said, really? But distributors are far in the line. The producers and directors have to love me, and they ain't loving me enough yet. He said, no, it's an interesting thing. A distributor said, Amit Sadh बहुत अच्छा एक्टर है, Amit Sadh बहुत अच्छा इंसान है, वह एक हिट चाहिए. एक हिट मिल जाएगी ना, वो निकल जाएगा. So, I mean, I smiled at it. I said, okay, then we'll wait for that hit. My thing is, if I even tell my audience, I have friends who are journalists, I have friends who are critics. I've never called anybody till today कि मुझे एक extra star दे देना. मैं तो बोलता हूँ, if you know me, judge me harder. लेकिन अगर मेरा ट्रेलर अच्छा लगा, अगर मेरी फिल्म का, मेरी कास्ट अच्छी लगी, मेरी फिल्म, whatever my movie is representing, if it kind of tickled you somewhere, or if it ticked some box, do come and watch us, do support us. But I just think just victimizing yourself, I don't have a studio and I'll die, and I can't do that. I can't live with that energy. If Apple starts selling their phone like that, they'll never sell.
Yeah.
Apple says, I made the best phone in the world. Come and try us. I won't say that we made the best film in the world, because I don't know what that means, because this is creativity. We've made a beautiful film with honesty, and there's a lot of spice and friendship and wickedness in the film, which I think when you go to a cinema hall, it might hold your attention and give you 2 hours of fun.
Yeah. So you're one of the many people who leave their hometowns, come to Bombay, and say, I want to become an actor, probably despite their parents saying, don't do this, and then you come in. When you look at where you are today, do you think that the dream that that boy had has come true to an extent?
Oh, more than dreams. More than dreams. I had never thought. Will I sit with you and do an interview? I never thought.
I'm hardly the gold
No.
standard. I'm like, but I'm talking about the producers,
So,
the
life-
distributors.
So the way I see life is a bunch of many miracles.
Yeah.
When a miracle happens, it's about your aptitude. Everything is a mindset, right? So I feel for me a miracle is a miracle. So I wanted to have an interview with you. It happened. It's a miracle. I won't say ये छोटा miracle है, ये बड़ा miracle है. I live every morning and my night I just look up. Thank you for these miracles. What I try to consume and be focused on and stay alert, that am I worthy for these miracles?
Right.
That helps me to somehow live morally and keep correcting myself. Yes, there's still a big list. As an actor, as a human being, the list keeps increasing, sir.
Right.
You tick 2 things you've done and 20 are waiting. And I think that is amazing, because the day you wake up in the morning and there's nothing on your board, or there's nothing in your list to do today, will be vegetables. So there's so much to be done, but yes, I never thought that I'll be here.
So when you came here to Mumbai, you started acting in television serials, and I heard that the first serial that you were in, they would almost kicked you out because you were a bad actor. That's what I read in the interview. Now,
I was not a bad actor.
Okay.
I was not an actor only.
Okay.
A bad actor is still 2 layers up. I was not an actor.
At what point did Amit Sadh get the feeling that, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can be a good actor. And at what point did you realize that you had become a good actor?
So I did not realize that I have become a good actor. I had a steaming thought and desire, I want to be an actor. And because I have the capacity to look at my real self, no matter how bad or hard it is, I give that credit to myself. I have the ability to see the real me, which can be very torturous and hard at times, because reality can suck and hurt. So after doing Kyun Hota Hai Pyar, Naj Baliye, Guns N' Roses, some really good work, and I worked with some good actors, I realized I've not even started. I'm just lucky. Maybe somebody's liked my face or it is my luck. Something has worked, but this is not acting. Yes, I have fans. Yes, I'm getting money. And something pinched in me. And then I started understanding how real actors feel, what is real acting. Then I started watching Dustin Hoffman, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan films. I started exploring Indian legends, Al Pacino, Marlon Brando, Steve McQueen, blah 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 blah. I started reading, and then I realized, dude, there's this. If I really, so this, a desire came in, and when desire comes in, a quest comes in, curiosity comes in, and that's the time where I had made some money, and I took a break. A lot of people mocked me at that time because I was inverted commas supposedly a TV star, and they say pagal ho gaya hai. He's leaving all this. And I went to an acting school. I went to Lee Strasberg, and I tried understanding what acting means, and worked on myself, and came back. And my first audition was Kai Poche, and I started my life again.
Is that when you discovered that you were an actor?
I discovered that this is something much more than the bravado of how to look and how to walk. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
But there's also another very interesting that you said, and I felt it for a long time, that you said that the audiences tend to judge actors on whether they are leading men or supporting actors, and they should not make this differentiation because it's all acting. But unfortunately, we live in a system where that judgment does happen. So when you take on a sultan, when you take on a gold, even though you're doing a great job, it's a very well written part and all that is there. Do you question sometimes that should I do this? Because if I do this, it's good exposure on one hand. But then if I do this, it could also mean that the next 10 roles I'll get will all be supporting actors to big stars. Is that something that you...
Yeah, so luckily for me, the first thing is to go and do.
Okay.
Once something is done, then there's an aftermath. If you start doing an aftermath before you do something, you'll never start.
So you don't think first?
I don't have that luxury, sir.
Okay.
So when I only have an offer, I have 2 offers in a year. Okay, and I'm not complaining because there's so many people who don't even have this.
Right.
I say, okay, I've got this offer. I need to go and jump and prepare this. That's where the sniper mentality comes in. अर्जुन को सिर्फ मछली की आंख दिखती है, वो नहीं दिखता कि बड़ी मछली है, छोटी है, तालाब की है, नदी की है, रिवर की है. वो कहता है दिख गई आंख में मार दूंगा.
Your friends call you sniper.
Yeah.
You said.
That was my attitude.
Yeah.
My mindset.
Because you just focus on the job at hand.
I have a very sniper mentality. So patience. I can sit in one place and abort.
Right.
You know, and then the sniper is very Arjun. I'm very fascinated by Arjun. You know, the Arjun जिसको सिर्फ मछली की आंख दिखती थी. Because if we do too much aftermath, we will never be able to move. And yes, there is mathematics, sir. I can't fight it. I can await. कि यहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं, ये भी होगा. For example, in Gold, I was one of the leads. If you see that character, I was very appreciated. A lot of media people, industry people came to me and said, अगर तुम्हारी photo poster में थोड़ी बड़ी होती, and in promotions, if they showed you as a hero, but they showed you like a hockey boy, your career would have been better. But your saying me doesn't help. For me, I got 30 lakh rupees for that film. I got to play hockey. I got to dedicate that film to my dad. I still get a lot of love. So I got 6 out of 10. I'm still surviving. I don't want 3 out of 10. So I'm like a guy who says, okay, 6 out of 10, no problem. Because so when you are 6 out of 10, if this is the game, you're still in the game.
Right.
3 out of 10, you're not in the game. So I'm 5, 6, no problem. I'm in the game if this is the game.
When you finally get a an OTT series like Breathe, and when I say finally, I mean it's a huge canvas over many, many episodes, and it's like you and Madhavan are the 2 leads. In a way, maybe one is protagonist, one is antagonist, but basically it's you two. It's not a one-person show. So you finally get somewhere where you're traveling throughout the show. Is that the moment when you say, damn it, this is something that I worked all this is what it's made it for?
So the one thing with snipers is that they have to keep their heart rate in control.
Okay.
Okay? No matter they've got the best lens and the
This
best.
analogy is really working for you. This is, yeah.
It does, sir.
Yeah.
You have to create your analogy. You
Yeah.
have to. I mean, you can't live with a life coach.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't ask your chef every time, मैं खाने में क्या खाऊं, कद्दू खाऊं, रोटी खाऊं. You have to be aware.
Yeah, yeah.
And for me, so sniper has to stay. His heart rate has to be in control. So for me, I went into the sniper mode. The most important thing is to stay calm, and that I think calmness allows you to make the right call.
Meaning that when you did breathe, that
So if I, for example, sir, if I focus on the exuberance part of it,
right.
hey, I've got this big role and I've got that exuberance will shift the focus. The target is gone. So for me, there's another great example. Great friend in LA. He's a philosopher. He's a man of many things. I once accidentally said to him, "Bro, I have a big meeting." He said, "No, dude, there's no big meeting. It's a meeting. It's been designed. You were designed all your life. Everything that you've done till today has brought you to that meeting. How can it be that big? You're big. What are you going to do? You're going to go and blow their minds big. Meeting is not big." So luckily, I also have friends who keep the same like mentality. So when I got Breathe, for me it was, so I didn't even know it's going to be big or small, or you know what I mean. I thought it's a great role. I didn't know the effect of it. When I was making this dish, I didn't even know we didn't know what Amazon is going to be. We didn't know where OTT is going to be. I knew that I'm working with a very big star, Maddie sir, and I write him. I call him Maddie sir bro because he's like an elder brother to me, and I have a beautiful bond with him. Beautiful bond.
Right.
And I love him. And on the first day only he broke the ice and he said, "Hey, you know how he's like, hey, sit down. Why you not on Instagram? This, that." I said, "Bro, I'm a minute actor. I don't want to be on Instagram." The bullshit. I did the same mistakes. You don't do that. Of course, it took me a while to understand what he meant. So at that time, at Breathe, it was just Kabir Sawant,
Right.
my lines, and what I want to do. And it was a turning point in my life. And the credit again goes to my director. Credit goes to my producer. Credit goes to Maddie sir for being such a big actor and just letting me fly. For not cutting my scenes. You know, for not taking me off the posters. Or not saying, "Arey, Amit is shining, nahi hai, iska climax hatao." He gave the whole climax to me.
Yeah.
He wrote the climax. He worked on it. Nahi, let this. So when many people, many things, when they come together for you, you shine. And I've understood that. So there is no exuberance. So when good things happen in my life, I look outside. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When bad things happen in my life, I look inside. Kya theek karna hai? What can I correct now?
Breathe was also, you said, like it took you to a dark zone, and you had been in several dark zones in your life before that. I don't know if you want to talk about those phases, but sometimes does acting also become a kind of therapy because you're able to get some of the things that you felt out there in a way you might not have been able to express it earlier?
Oh yeah, I call acting a therapist that pays me.
Okay, okay.
So I'll give you 2-3 examples. So one of my biggest healing, that's why for me this profession, this acting, it brings you closer to people. That's why it's cinema, right? It brings closer to people. Through cinema, through to connect, through fans, through audiences. When I started doing well, and I started doing scenes well, and gets claps, so many people coming and saying, "You're a good actor," this, that. My healing started happening that everything that I've gone through is paying off today. Had I not gone through all this, I wouldn't have, I would say, the qualities I have. And the qualities are to be of a human. I feel if you're a good human, that allows you to be better at any job. Because of your enhanced curiosity, your discipline, your humility, your hard work, all these things eventually help. You don't have to be the best.
Right.
So for me, it was a big healing, first of all, to put a meaning and an end. That okay, the past is gone, but it's brought me to a point of understanding. And I want to tell you one funny story. We all have these spots, especially as actors, we keep them alive, which triggers, and we use them in a scene. So 2014-15, there was a trigger in myself. Whenever I would think about it, I can cry, and might have used it a one too many times.
Okay.
Now I'm doing a scene. When I do such scene, I am not aware at that time, but I know people know कि ये scene तो Amit classic है. Amit will take it out, and I'm doing the scene, and I don't even do rehearsals. I mean, I'll do reading of the director one, but directors who know me, they don't do rehearsals with me. They don't even do nothing. If it's a 3-page scene, no rehearsal.
Right.
They don't, because they know I'm best without that. But of course, if a director wants, of course, I mean, I'll give. And I'm doing down the scene. It didn't come in rolling, it didn't come in action. I'm just seeing, and I'm also observing myself. Ki, nahi, I'm not in the role. I'm not where I wanted to go in. It's outward. The director loved it. It's a very great, blah, blah, blah. I said, can I do one more? I said, okay, sure, I'll do one more. It's not there. I said, bro, you're happy? I'm happy. Beautiful shot. I said, can I take a 5-minute break? I went to my room. I said, dude, yaar, ye kya ho raha hai? So maybe that healed. That trigger was not any. That trigger is gone. I'm not that trigger. That thought, that memory is not antagonizing me anymore. And I laughed. I finished the day. We did it well. And I called my acting coach. And I said, dude, he said, I told you. I know you've gone through a lot. And this will dry one day. So I said, what do I do now? He said, Yamit, you're an actor, right? You act. I said, yeah. So forget the past now. Now start depending on the actor's past, the character's past.
You mean on the technique?
So the character's past.
Oh.
Use imagination. So create the past of the character, not yours. And then my new journey started. But still breathe. I somehow got sucked into this character, sir. And they wrote on me. It's not that I think the big compliment goes to Mayank for writing and understanding me. So after season 1, he understood me. He understood that because they were in season 1 also, my part was not written. We would just go, they would tell me, ye hai, and we would do something. It was not a well written part. But because of the atmosphere and the director and me, it kind of started edging in on the spot. So I went into, and Kabir has a lot of me, my past, which is dark and violent. Kabir has a lot of me now. Kabir had a lot of my father. Sometimes you have to dig deep, because I want my audience to, when they see, I would die on the day when anyone says, Amit, you were sleeping in this role. Or, you can dislike my work, but at least my effort should be seen. My sincerity should be seen. So I dig deep, and I have amazing friends, sir. They get me out and they get me in. I finished season 3 and I was at this beautiful lake. It's one of my favorite places in the world. One of my favorite places, called St. Maurice. And people go there to ski in the winter. I don't go there to ski in the winter because it is very expensive. But in the summer, I like going in actually in the spring. Okay. The lake is still a little frozen. It's still cold. And I somehow like going there as much as I like going there to Ladakh. And I go there once, mostly alone. So anyways, my friend was there and I was sitting there and I had some tears, like some energy, something went off. And I felt light. I said, okay, Kabir Sawant is now going.
Okay.
And a friend of mine who's a civilian. So I call my friends who don't understand art, okay, who don't understand forge, civilians. So he walks in, he's a very intelligent man, very educated, and he walks in and he says, and I was a little somber. I said, what happened, Sadh? I said, bro, I just think Kabir Sawant just left me. I feel so light. He just looked at me. Chal, let's have coffee. He just didn't pay any attention to it. I'm looking at him. I'm going through
such a major thing.
And sometimes you need that, like a tapri, like a nudge. Ki, chal, don't get it lost into all this.
Don't get too serious about this.
Ho gaya, chalo, coffee peete. So things happen, sir. Things happen.
But when things happen to us, and when we plant them, or when they become triggers to us, when, it's inside us, right? So the thing is, we feel them. How is it different to act using a feeling that we have versus an imagination about a character that is still a bit of imagination. Like, let's say I've lost a friend, right? That pain is going to be inside me, and I can draw on that pain and act. If I'm saying that pain is no longer inside me, but now the character that I'm playing has lost his friend, and I have to imagine it as if the character's pain is coming from his loss of his friend. The character is imaginary, the character's friend is imaginary, that pain is also imaginary. Is that equal somehow though?
So whatever you said is are relevant passages to reach the end.
Okay.
First thing comes for me is from want. Wanting to have a good day on set. Very simple. Secondly, there are techniques. Stanislavski, Meisner, Stella Adler. There's so many techniques. I've studied them but forgotten them. You know what I mean? Because when you're cooking, making chai or making a nice dish, you're not going to say, okay,
Right.
oregano, namak. No.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just
You internalize it, yeah.
internalize. I feel, sir, after the want and the willingness, and by being present on that day, which I think is 50%, is listening. When you start listening to the script, when you start listening to the director, when you start listening to co-actors, you then understand what this character needs to reach. Most important thing, according to me, is to identify where this has to reach. Whether it is at a loss, whether it is at friend's wedding, jealousy, any emotion. It's very important, especially in a movie, because it's a narrative. You're following a story which has to reach a point. So I think it's very important to determine. That's where the script and the director plays a big role. And once you know that, that's when you bring your inner things. How does my past, which is varied, suits this journey? What will take me here? For example, sir, I lost my dad when I was 16 years old. I cried for him for the first time at Marine Drive, because that's the last memory of my papa, where we were walking on the Marine Drive at night, and we had a very intense conversation. I cried for him after 8 years. I went to Marine Drive and I cried. And the first time I just looked at him and said, Dad, I miss you and I love you. And sorry we had a fight all our life. 8 years. So now again, now you can tell that sometime on direct. So I do these scenes well, by the way, because I don't instantly react. So when I go to my directors and there are scenes and I go and I tell them that I know you like this, but do you, and communication is a big important thing in life, in acting and everything. And I go to her, I said, so bro, this happened with my father, 8 years. I know you can't wait for the shot for 8 years, but in your, can I react after 3 days? And please don't show me reacting, show me the effect. Don't show me crying, or don't show the effect. Show the action of this hurt. Show the action of this joy. Show the action of this excitement. Because that's the expression. I think that's where, like you said, internalization, listening, all these tools help. It's it's a beautiful question. And that's where the fun is.
And you explained it very well, because the thing is, sometimes we don't process our emotions immediately, and sometimes it takes a while, and but that's still inside, and I think you kind of this one. So why do you call yourself a professional emotional athlete?
Because I'm professional, I'm very disciplined. I am an emotional person, and I think it's very important to be emotional, because everything in life is emotional. Though you have to kind of learn how to ski on them if they are frozen, and if they are fluid, you have to learn how to paddleboard on them, whatever this means to you. And we are athletes, sir. We are all gladiators. We are athletes.
Okay.
We are athletes of our own world. So I just like this. It just makes. I just think these three words describe me very well.
Professional emotional athlete. And why do you say motorcycle saved your life?
Because it did. I think hobbies and anything that you're passionate about, they save you. They protect you from yourself. The biggest danger as a human being we have, first, is by ourselves. the danger that we can cause to ourselves by our thoughts, by our rigidity, by our habits, by boredom, by the instability of the mind is humongous. I think a hobby, whether it is motorcycling, whether it is going to a music class, whether it is dancing, whether it is trekking, mountaineering, reading, all these things, they protect you. So for me, it was motorcycling from a very young age. Also went through different stages. And those stages, so through, I'll share another amazing thing. So through motorcycling, because I ride a lot, every year I actually make my own report card. My motorcycling and the way I ride and the way I feel tells me where I am,
Right.
like inside.
Tell me what you feel when you're acting versus when you're motorcycling.
I just feel nothing anymore.
You feel nothing anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just so lost in the joy of, like right now I'm feeling just lovely talking to you. Like the words are flowing, there's no intention, there's no fabrication, ki this has to come out in this, you're just flowing. Just being honest, reacting. In one word, just joy.
Nice.
Just joy.
There's Pune Highway. There's this character that you're playing. What is it that makes this character different from the other characters that you've played? What is it that made you say yes to this film?
I love films which are based on friendship.
Okay.
And I think friendship is so crooked. It is so flawed. Love is very, I mean, you know, this whole Milson Boone thing, love is not that. Love is actually hate. Only people who love you can hate you. A normal person who doesn't know you and walk by and can't hate you, that person can dislike you. Hate comes out of love.
Yeah.
Hate comes out of friendship. So there's duality in life. So when my breakup happens, that's why I'm now, when we were younger, we were nasty, we would block the person or you know, hack into their emails and so, if you ask me, I'm like, cool. Like, you know, and I've understood some part, the duality of love and friendship. At some point, the spark is so heightened, whether you'll kill for one another, and at some time you're at your lowest as a human being. And it just fascinates me that how we are as humans. So and plus I have a very good, amazing bond with bugs. So we did Barrett House. That was a film made out of labor. We finished a 25-day film in a 15-day film in the budget because of the budget. I was living on the set. I was living in my trailer. They had still given me a room in Daman, but and on the last day of Barrett House, Bugs was I think impressed with my hard work and sincerity. He said, "Son, I will make 5 movies with you one day." And I would like joke में ऐसे आप भी एड़ा मत बनाओ सब एड़ा बनाते हैं. And I said this to him मजाक में. He said, "No, Amit, I will." So I said, "Bugs, I love you. I had great time working with you, and I will wait." And then he just landed one day Pune Highway. And the things he threw, the script, the idea that it was a play, that means it will be well written. Rahul Tukuna, who I have a lot of high regards. Rahul had messaged me after Kaipoche. I think it was the first message actually, one of the first messages of, he didn't even know me, but it was so nice of Rahul Tukuna to message me and say, "Amit, I love your work." So yeah, mostly it was the script that, and that's what I like about Pune Highway. It's a friendship. It's a very deep, you know, the friendship which happened on the terraces, friendship that happens on playgrounds, friendship that happens. See, there's a university friendship. There's a friendship that comes and goes because of need and comfort. But these friendships, which say blossom at the age of 9, 10, 11, and they're so intimate because you are each other's neighbors, you're in the same building, you're in the same, I mean, your chat actually becomes your Davos, it becomes your convention where every decision is made on that terrace. And then, of course, you grow. And we grow, conflict grows. And then I like the murder mystery part of this. I just like the fusion of coming of age and friendship and a murder. Somebody dies miles away, and how that creeps into this friendship, into this world. And I have this word which I always use, that as human beings we do fall. Everybody does. Some just have the courage to uh, own up, and some have more courage to rectify. Everybody falls. So this is my favorite word actually, wicked. So I just feel that the wickedness
Right.
of that comes also in friendship. I just thought it's a good film with emotions, and there's a lot of craft in the film. There's a lot of good writing. Bugs and Rahul are they're geniuses.
I want to end this on I don't know whether this is going to be a funny note or whether this is going to be a painful note, but I saw a picture of yours on the web where you're kind of squatting in a very cool dress and with a signature of yours, and you said, "This is one of the photos of mine from my very first photo shoot." It was a grayish kind of, a kind of a suit. Every actor, when they start out, they have this photo shoot done and they go knock doors and this and that. I want you to tell me the memories of your first photo shoot and what did it result in?
Still a friend of mine. His name is Haider,
Okay.
and we still shoot once in 5 years or 3 years. He's also now a documentary filmmaker. He's making some good films and stuff. And he's also a photographer to like Salman Sir and stuff. He's a big photographer. So we made friends, and I said, "Look, I can't afford you." Because he was he said, and we want. He said, "I won't take money." He didn't even take money for brushing up, nothing. It was absolutely out of love. I always say my every sad story ends with happiness because my name is Sadh. Sad with happiness, and that's the process of life. So when I came back from Strasbourg, I showed my photos to somebody. I don't want to name that person, and I have a decent friendship with that person. And I was actually told कि तुम्हारे बाल अच्छे नहीं हैं. Somebody said तुम्हारी हंसी टेढ़ी है. Somebody said you're not styled enough.
Did anyone ask you to act or perform a scene?
नहीं पहले वो option ही नहीं दिया. पहले ही बोल दिया कि you don't have the it factor.
Okay.
But then I realized. So I don't take things. So if this was said to someone, that's where the sniper mentality helps you.
Right.
You don't have the it factor, you'll get offended. If I tell anybody you don't have the it factor, you'll get offended. Arey, I'm so good. I went home, I said, okay. That person didn't say I have nothing. That person, out of 1 million things a human being can have, just was looking for one thing. It factor. I don't have it. So I was saying, this is the biggest compliment. This person said, you have everything, those billion things in a human being, and endless of possibility, you just don't have one thing. You don't have the it factor. I said, no problem. I said, it's the best compliment I've got. Now I've got this much to play with. Mindset.
And after that came Kaipoche.
I was a Kepoche and I reconciled.
All these other things. So it's a good journey you've had, and thank you so much for sharing parts of this with us. And all the best for Pune Highway.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you. And thank you for talking to me. It means a lot to me.
Bye.
Thank you.